Alright, so still plan to send the oil sample off. The last episode we did the oil change, transmission change, differential, flush the brakes, flush the clutch. Wanted to make sure it was healthy before we put it on the dyno. Alright, so I was going to give it to this guy, but he's running away. That's weird. I wasn't coughing, I promise. So I'm going to give it to this guy, and hopefully he will get it there within 2 days. Now, I talked about the exhaust mod on the dyno. It's the quickest thing you can possibly do. You want to watch this. This is how to make your exhaust sound cool in 20 seconds. Take the built-in exhaust modifier right here, clip this bottom right 10 fuse, pull it out, instant cool exhaust. Alright, so let's go for a quick spin around the block. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. It's something obviously you're going to pull a fuse. The nice thing about having the muffler is you can go from loud to quiet whenever you want. But ideally it needs a switch, which I did on a past video. I'm going to do that on this car, and I'll show you how to do it. Super duper simple. There is a few systems out on the market that use a remote control, but that means you're going to carry another key fob, you hang it on your car somewhere, it's not accessible. I like the fact of having a switch, hitting it in the car, turn it on and off whenever you're ready. Valves are open right now, obviously it's loud, but having the ability to go to quiet mode is just, it's the Jekyll and Hyde. It's perfect. You got two cars in one. You got a nice docile quiet car or a loud sporty car at a flip of a switch. Now I mentioned driving this car. I've owned two C7s. This is the fourth C6. This is the Z06 option. This is the carbon model. It's very light. It feels lighter to drive. It feels more responsive. It doesn't have that kind of luxury GT feel. It feels more like a raw sports car, and I like that. I like this car so much more. It doesn't have the tech of the C7. Doesn't have the adjustability on the dash and the big screen. The navigation is from like 1958. It's borderline useless. The sound system is pretty good. Gauges very clear, analog gauges, but it's immediately recognizable what's going on. You know when you've got a shift, you know when you're approaching your red line or whatever your shift point is. Super driver focused. It's got the crackles, the pops. Sounds amazing. The LS7 is by far the best sounding V8. Alright, so one of the things different on this car, just immediately noticeable from the C7, is it feels much lighter. Everything about it, I mean, the car weighs about 500 pounds less than a C7, but just the way it feels when you steer it, throttle it, turn it, everything about it, you can feel the weight difference. The car feels much more nimble and a little bit easier to control, but it feels more like a race car as opposed to like a luxury GT car. Okay, so the only thing I'm missing on this car that I had on previous cars is the rev match. Rev match, not only does it sound cool, obviously you got to downshift, it blips the throttle, but in a situation where you're on the high gear, you're going into a corner, you put the clutch in, you downshift, you come off the clutch, the motor has so much compression and it's so big of a motor, when you lift the clutch, it tends to lock the back wheels up unless you can heel toe it, which I cannot, and especially for a track situation. So I really miss the rev match. That's something I'm going to pursue. If any of you guys know of a good system, one that we can put on this, let me know, tag them in it, Fingers crossed, we have a track day we're going to be going to within 2 weeks, so keep an eye out for that video. But that's the only thing so far that I miss on the car that it absolutely has to have. You can feel the car is so much lighter, it doesn't need much input to make it go, make it accelerate. See, I could use the rev match right there, smooth out that shift. My tires just don't hold up at all. They break loose so easy. The rubber is kind of hard, you know, they're 10 years old. There really needs to be some fresh rubber back there. Now for the track, I do have another set of wheels from the ZR1. They're the Grand Sport wheels, the ZR1 wheels, and it has the Pilot Sport Cup 2s, which we'll be using when we take it to the road course. But for the street, it really needs to have a better street tire on it than these hard rubber tires that's on it right now. All right, put back on your stock exhaust, fuse 10, put your puller back in there, done. And of course, port the throttle body. The brakes on this are just spectacular. I mean, you barely touch the brakes. And then of course, headers. I'm going to do American Racing headers, build our own titanium X pipe, probably do a double X. I'm going to stick with the Z06 mufflers. They've been proven to 800 wheel. Of course, the valve, the open and close valve feature. I do plan on changing the exhaust tips. We did this on my 2013 ZR1. We showed you the difference. We actually sell tips to fit it. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit more aggressive, but they just look a bit more modern. If you look at that, it just makes the exhaust look a little bit more appealing, a little bit beefier. And these tips, when you change these to these tips, they touch right here, and each one is about 1/4 inch bigger. So keep an eye out for that, but we're definitely going to do that just like I did on the ZR1. I've actually sold a handful of these tips. We searched a lot to find the right tip that would mimic this. You're basically going to cut it right here on the flange. Got to be careful. Cut it right there, and it's the same diameter as that. Same here. It's going to cut right there, but look out for that video. We'll do a whole episode on this. Stock exhaust, just with a fuse pulled. Stock mufflers, stock X pipe, stock manifolds. It sounds amazing. The C7 with our double X pipe sounds really good, but nothing sounds like this. So it's hard to think I'm going to improve that with headers and a titanium X pipe. It's going to get louder, it's going to sound a little bit crisper. We're going to do our double X on this to make that sound even more like a screaming sound as opposed to a V8 sound. It sounds more like multiple cylinders. So I'm digging the car. I hope you like it. If you do like it, of course, leave a comment, let me know. Go drive one of these things. They are an absolute blast. They really are. I can't wait to get moving on this car. I think the lights are going to be next. It's going to be easy. I'm going to get on those. Paint correction, ceramic. I'm still kind of thinking about that. Honestly, I don't have the money just to send it out and say, there you go. I'm a big time YouTuber. Ceramic coat my car. I don't make enough money to do that. So I might actually do it myself. So then if I screw it up, then I can send it to one of those guys and say, hey, I'm a big time YouTuber. Can you fix my buffing? So that's the plan, appearance-wise. I'm not going to show that too much because someone's going to zoom in and see what it is, but stuff is appearing. A couple of little things just showed up and got the notification they're here, so I'm going to go grab those and start putting that stuff together in a pile for the next episode. So if you're enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, click the subscribe, hit the like, you know what to do. You're going to see more stuff. You're going to see more me mess around with this car. If you're interested in it, I'm going to try and share as much of it as I can with you for those guys that are kind of thinking about a Corvette. If you own a Corvette, if it's not even on your radar, I just want to show you and expose you to it. So thanks for watching. See you on the next episode. Hit the subscribe and click the like. And don't forget, enjoy your cars.